It's late, or it feels late in the way only your body knows. You're lying here in the dark or the almost dark, and your mind is still busy. It's running through today, or tomorrow, or that one thing you wish you hadn't said. Your eyes might be tired, but the thoughts are not. Maybe this isn't the first thing you've tried. Maybe you've scrolled and searched and told yourself, just sleep, and that only made it louder. Maybe you're already bracing for another night of watching the clock, feeling the hours slip away. Here you are anyway. You pressed play. You brought yourself to this moment, even if part of you is doubtful, or restless, or already half in an argument with tomorrow. That's okay. You don't have to believe in this. You don't have to feel calm. Being here is already enough. So let's make an agreement, you and I. There's nothing to perform, nothing to get right. You're not here to pass a test. You don't need to follow every word. If your mind wanders off, that's fine. If you drift in and out, catching pieces and losing others, that's fine too. Sleep can come whenever it wants to. If you stay awake but feel even a little bit softer inside, that will still count. Your only job right now is to lie here. That's it. The rest is mine to carry for a while. I'll keep track of the words. I'll keep track of the time. You don't have to. So start, just for a moment, with what's already true. There is a surface under you, holding all of your weight. Notice the way your body meets it, the back of your head, your shoulders, the curve of your spine, the heaviness of your legs. Even if you're restless, even if you keep shifting, there is always something solid underneath, catching you each time you settle. Feel the pull of gravity doing its quiet work. You don't have to sink on purpose. You don't have to relax on command. Just notice how you are being held up without effort by whatever you're lying on. Mattress, couch, folded blankets on the floor. It's all the same in this moment. Something steady beneath you, not asking anything in return. Pay a bit of attention to the air around you. Is it cool on your face, or warm from the day? Maybe there's a slight draft on one side, or a stillness that makes the room feel closed in. The air touches your skin in tiny, constant ways, on your cheeks, at your fingertips, along your neck. Notice the fabric against your body, the weight of a blanket or sheet over you, the way it rests across your chest, your stomach, your legs. Maybe it's light and barely there. Maybe it's heavier, pressing you gently toward the bed. Feel where your clothes meet your skin, the seams, the softness or roughness, the familiar feel of what you sleep in most nights. Your hands have found a place too. Maybe one is under your head, maybe both are by your sides, maybe they're tucked close, or holding the edge of a pillow. Wherever they are, they're resting more than they were earlier today. They don't have to type, or tap, or carry, or reach for anything now. Without changing anything, notice your breathing. Not deeper, not slower, just as it is. Air coming in, air going out, maybe through your nose, maybe through your mouth. There's a small movement in your chest, or your ribs, or your stomach. In and out, in and out. A rhythm that's been happening all day, whether you watched it or not. If your thoughts are still loud, that's all right. They can keep moving while you notice these simple things. The bed, the air, the fabric, the quiet rise and fall of your breath. Think of it less as turning your mind off, and more as turning a small light toward what's actually here, in this room, with you. Your shoulders might still be holding something from earlier. A conversation that didn't feel finished. An email you didn't send. A worry about tomorrow morning, or next week, or much farther than that. You don't have to put it down. Just notice the way your shoulders feel right now. tight, loose, somewhere in between. Notice the way they rest against the bed or hover just above it. It's been a long one. You can feel that. Even if you can't point to a single big event, the small things add up. Decisions, messages, noise, other people's moods, your own. All of it clings a little as the day ends. Some of it has followed you right here, into this room, into this bed. The walls around you are doing their quiet job. They're standing where they always stand. The door is closed or partly closed, the way you left it. The things that needed your attention earlier are not in front of you now. The screens can wait. The conversations can wait. The world outside this room is carrying on without you for a while. Here, just here, that's the whole thing for tonight. Not fixing tomorrow, not rewriting today, not solving every worry that shows up. There will be other hours for that. Right now, the only time that matters is this one, and the next, as they arrive. If your mind wants to check the clock, it might. It might say, if I fall asleep now, I'll get this many hours. It might start doing math in the dark. If that happens, you don't have to argue with it. Let it do its little calculation, and then gently come back to something you can feel. The weight of your head on the pillow, the blanket across your legs, the steady, quiet in and out of your breathing. You may notice small sounds around you, a hum from somewhere in the room, a car in the distance, pipes or wind, or the soft movements of the building itself, sounds that keep happening whether you pay attention or not. Let them be part of the background like a low murmur in another room that you don't need to join. Nothing needs to be fixed tonight. Not every thought needs an answer. Not every feeling needs a plan. You can meet them the way you might meet passing strangers on a sidewalk. A quick glance, a small nod, and then your gaze returns to the path under your feet. Here, the path is your own body resting where it is. As you lie here, you might begin to notice tiny shifts. Maybe your jaw loosens a little without you asking. Maybe your hands feel heavier. Maybe the space behind your eyes feels a touch less crowded. Or maybe it all feels exactly the same. And that's okay too. Change at night can be quiet, almost invisible while it's happening. Think of this time as a soft landing strip between your day and your sleep. Not a leap, not a demand, just a gradual, gentle slope downward. You're already on it, simply by being here, listening, feeling the bed, feeling your breath move in and out. If you drift away from these words, that will be part of the process. If you stay with them, that will be part of it too. There is no wrong way to move through this. Your body knows more about resting than your thoughts remember right now. It has done this thousands of times before. For now, stay close to what you can touch and feel. The familiar shape of your pillow, the outline of your body against the mattress, the quiet inside the room, even if there are sounds outside it, the slow, ongoing rhythm of your breathing, carrying you from one moment to the next. Little by little as we go on, the night can start to feel less like something to get through, and more like a place you can lean into. You don't have to lean far, just enough to notice that you're here, held by the bed, surrounded by walls that will still be standing in the morning, while the world outside carries itself for a while without your help. And as you keep lying here, listening or not listening, thinking or drifting, the edges of this day can begin to blur, so that what remains is simple: your body, the dark, the quiet, and the slow, steady movement of breath, waiting to carry you wherever the night is ready to take you next. The weight of your body is already beginning to settle, like arriving home at the end of a long day. Imagine that in a way, you are standing just inside a doorway. Not a doorway you have to picture clearly or see in detail. Just the simple feeling of crossing a threshold, of being inside now instead of out there. Your breath moves in, and it is like stepping over that small raised edge at the bottom of the door. Your breath moves out, and the door swings gently closed behind you. Outside stays outside. Inside begins here. Feel the contact of your body with the bed, the pillow, the blanket. This is your entryway. This is where you arrive. The fabric under you is like a familiar floor beneath tired feet, taking your weight without question. Notice the weight of your head on the pillow. It rests there the way a bag rests on a hallway bench, finally set down after being carried for too long. All the things you have been holding all day do not need to be carried right now. For these moments, they can sit quietly by the door. Your shoulders may have been working hard, even if you did not realize it. Imagine them as straps that have been cutting in a little, pulling forward, holding everything up. With each slow breath out, it is as if your hands reach up and slip those straps off. The burden slides down and is placed gently beside that bench in the entryway of your night. The air on your skin is like the air of a quiet room you know well. Not too warm, not too cold. Just the temperature of a place that has been waiting for you. A place that holds your shape, your presence, without needing anything in return. As you breathe, feel how your chest rises and falls. This is the simple act of stepping inside and closing the door. On the in-breath, you arrive a little more fully. On the out-breath, you hear the soft final click of the latch, keeping the night close around you. If any sounds drift in from far away, you can imagine them on the other side of that door. Footsteps in a hallway, distant voices, the faint hum of the world still moving. They stay out there, in that outer room of the day. Here, in this inner room of your bed, the sounds are muffled, like coats, hanging thickly on a hook. Feel the weight of your arms where they rest. They might be at your sides, or folded, or gently touching your body. Wherever they are, notice how they sink into the surface beneath them, like setting down heavy grocery bags just inside the door, handles slipping from your fingers, the floor taking the load. Your hands have touched so many things today: keys, handles, screens, fabrics, other hands. Now they touch only what is close and soft. The sheet, the blanket, the mattress, maybe your own body, like placing your keys in a small dish by the door and knowing you will find them again when you need them. Each finger can soften a little more. The tiny muscles in your palms can loosen, as if they are no longer gripping anything. There is nothing to hold right now, only this quiet contact, skin to fabric, body to bed. The back of your head feels the pillow supporting it. Notice the exact spot where your skull meets that softness. The pillow yields just enough, like a doormat giving under tired shoes. It shapes itself around you, saying, without words, "You've come in. You can stay." Your face too has been carrying the day. Expressions, reactions, small tightnesses you may not have noticed. Now, in this inner room, no one is standing in the doorway, waiting for anything from you. The muscles around your eyes can slacken, like a coat slipping off your shoulders, and landing on a hook with a soft rustle. Feel your eyelids resting where they are. If they are closed, they lie together like curtains drawn across a window, keeping the evening outside. If they are not yet closed, they can drift down whenever they are ready, like blinds being lowered slowly, one gentle pull at a time. Either way, the world beyond that window can stay where it is. Your jaw may have been clenching or holding. See if it can ease, just a little. Imagine unhooking a chain on the inside of a door, that small extra bit of fastening that kept everything tight. With that tiny click, the tension releases, and the door rests on its hinges, secure, but no longer strained. Feel the weight of your tongue in your mouth. It can rest heavy and still, like mail dropped on a hallway table, not needing to be sorted tonight. Your teeth can part slightly. The space between them is like the quiet gap between the outside world and this inner room where you lie. The blanket over you, or the sheet against your skin, is like the familiar coat you hang by the door each night. Except now, instead of taking something off, you are being covered. The fabric folds around you, following the shape of your body, like a doorway that has learned your exact outline. It meets you where you are without pressing, without asking. Feel where the blanket touches your shoulders, your chest, your hips. Notice the gentle weight of it, not heavy, not light, just enough to remind you that you are here, that there is something soft and steady holding the outline of your body in place. Your legs stretch out or curl in, however they have chosen to arrive. The backs of your thighs, your calves, your heels, all resting against the bed. Think of each point of contact as something being set down, one by one, just inside that doorway. First one bag, then another, then the weight of your coat, then the keys from your pocket, until your hands are empty. The mattress beneath you is like a wide, welcoming hallway floor. It does not mind how much you bring to it. It does not mind if your steps have been light or heavy today. It simply receives your weight and spreads it out so that no single part of you has to carry more than it can. With each breath out, feel how your body settles a fraction deeper into that surface. Your spine, from the base of your skull, down through your neck, your upper back, your lower back, all of it gently supported, as though you had leaned your back against the inside of a solid closed door, feeling it hold you up from behind. Nothing pushes, nothing pulls. There is only steady contact. If thoughts arrive, they can be treated like items you carried in with you, without realizing. A note in your pocket, a receipt crumpled in your hand. You can imagine placing each one on that small table by the door. They will still exist, but they do not need to come any farther into the room tonight. Your breathing keeps moving at its own pace, in and out, like the simple act of reaching for the door handle, turning it, and then releasing it again. There is a rhythm to arriving, and your body knows it better than your mind does. The air around you holds stillness the way a quiet home does at night. Walls not speaking but present. Furniture resting where it always rests. A sense that everything that needed to be done at the threshold has been done. You are in the room now, not standing in the doorway, not halfway in, halfway out. Your body has crossed that line and is stretching out fully on the soft floor of the night. If some part of you still feels like it is lingering outside, you do not have to push it. Just notice the places that already feel inside. The heaviness of your heels, the warmth where your back meets the bed, the quiet weight of your hands. With each breath, a little more of you can arrive, like shoes being towed off, one, then the other, left near the door, like a scarf slipped from your neck and dropped in a gentle loop on a chair, Little by little, the day comes off of you. The room of your night is simple, just the feeling of fabric, air, and the steady presence of your own body. There are no tasks here, no one waiting in the hall, no footsteps approaching the door. The door to the day is closed now, not with force, but with the quiet finality of habit. A familiar turn of the wrist, a soft click, the knowledge that you can open it again when morning comes. Until then, it stays as it is. Outside is outside, inside is here, where you lie. Your body knows this place. The way your chest rises and falls, the way your weight spreads out and is held, the way the air rests lightly on your skin, like a room that has been expecting you. For now, you are simply someone who has come home and set everything down. The bags by the door, the keys in their dish, the day on the other side of the latch. All that remains is this quiet, steady presence of your body in its own private room of night. Breath moving, muscles softening, the doorway behind you closed while you move farther and farther into the soft interior of rest. The air around you carries a gentle stillness now, as if the whole space you are in has settled with you. You can imagine it as a room made just for rest, not a busy room, not a room that has to impress anyone, just a quiet indoor sanctuary that belongs to the night. In this room the light is soft and low. It doesn't glare or demand your attention. It's the kind of light that seems to understand tired eyes. It glows instead of shines, like a small lamp with a warm shade tucked in a corner. The walls around you are steady. They do not move. They do not rush. They simply stand, holding their place, keeping the outside world where it is. You might picture them in a color that feels calm to you, something gentle and muted, like a soft fabric stretched smooth. Your bed sits inside this room like a quiet center. The mattress meets your body with an easy, familiar give. It knows the shape of your weight, the way you sink in certain places more than others. Every point of contact has its own simple story. Notice the back of your head resting. The surface beneath it accepts the weight without effort. Your skull, your neck, the small muscles at the base of your head, all releasing into that support. The pillow rises up to meet them, instead of asking them to hold themselves. The room's air touches your face. Maybe there is the faintest coolness on your cheeks, or at the tip of your nose. Not cold, just a reminder that the air is moving slowly, gently. It slides over your skin, and then moves on, as if it knows not to linger too long. The walls keep the air calm. No gusts, no drafts, just a soft, even presence around you. The ceiling above you is quiet, steady, like a broad hand held over the space, sheltering, unhurried. You don't have to look at it to feel that it is there, holding its place in the dark. Your shoulders rest against the bed. Feel how the fabric beneath them has a certain texture. Maybe it's smooth and cool at first touch, or slightly worn and familiar, with tiny ridges from the weave. As your shoulders settle, the fabric flattens, making a small, private imprint of you. The blanket over you is like the room's gentle weight made tangible. It drapes over your body, following the curve of your chest, your hips, your legs. Where it touches, it warms. Where it hangs, it creates soft, quiet pockets of air that belong only to you. In this room, the sounds are distant and softened. Anything beyond these walls feels like it has been moved a few steps back. Maybe there is a faint hum somewhere, like an appliance in another part of the house, or a car far away. The walls receive those sounds and dull their edges, so only a low, harmless murmur reaches you. Your hands have their own place in this sanctuary. Where are they resting now? On your stomach, by your sides, on the blanket. Feel the exact shape of contact, the curve of your palm against fabric, the slight warmth where your fingers touch your body or each other. Each finger has its own small weight. The mattress, the blanket, or your own skin carries that weight easily. There is no rush in your hands. They can simply lie there, like quiet guests in a room where nothing is expected of them. The lighting in this room seems to know how tired you are. It doesn't insist on being seen. It just offers a faint warm glow that reaches only as far as it needs to. Beyond that, shadows gather gently, not as something to fear, but as a soft curtain where details can fade. Your legs stretch out into those shadows. You can feel where your calves meet the bed, the slight pressure at your heels. The fabric gives just a little under them, holding that small pressure without complaint. If your feet are covered, the blanket forms a tiny tent of warmth around them, a sheltered pocket at the far end of the bed. Here, in this room, time moves differently. It doesn't tick loudly or push you forward. It feels more like a slow, steady breathing of the space itself. Each inhale, each exhale, the room seems to join you, expanding and softening with you. As you breathe in, imagine the air of this room entering your lungs, clean and simple. On the exhale, feel your body sink a little deeper into the bed, as if the room is quietly inviting you to rest more fully. Nothing dramatic, just a gentle, repeated settling. The walls hold their quiet. They stand between you and everything beyond them, like calm, patient guardians of this small, nighttime world. They do not need anything from you. They simply offer enclosure so your attention can draw closer, narrower, softer. Your chest rises and falls, and the blanket responds with it. A slow, easy lift, then a slow, easy return. The fabric moves as one piece, like a small, steady tide across your body, but contained within this room, within this bed. Even your breath feels housed here, not spilling out into a busy world, but staying close. If thoughts drift in, the room can hold them too. They might appear like faint shapes in the dim light, somewhere near the edges. They are not pushed away, but they are not given the center of the room either. They can stand quietly by the wall, while your body remains the one resting in the middle. The air has its own soft weight. You can feel it most where your skin is uncovered, on your forehead, your hands, maybe your ankles. It presses just enough to remind you that you are here, in this space, in this moment. Not out there, not back then, but right here, with these four walls, this bed, this gentle light. The furniture, if you imagine any, is simple and still. Maybe there is a chair in the corner, its outline softened by the low light. Maybe a small table beside you, holding only what is needed for the night. Nothing cluttered, nothing sharp, just shapes that know how to be quiet. Your spine is supported along its length, from the base of your skull, down the curve of your neck, across your upper back, your lower back, all the way to the tailbone. Each part is met by the mattress, by the steady surface beneath you. You do not have to hold yourself upright here. The room holds you horizontally, gently, completely. The temperature is just right for resting. Not too warm, not too cool, but balanced in that way that makes your muscles soften. Any place that was tense begins to realize it can ease. The room is not asking anything of those muscles. They can loosen, like a fist slowly uncurling. Even your face begins to match the room's expression. The small lines at your forehead smooth a little. Your jaw softens where it meets the pillow. Your tongue rests more loosely in your mouth, not pressed against anything, just lying there, like a quiet object on a quiet shelf. The door to this room, wherever you place it in your mind, is closed enough. It marks a gentle boundary. On the other side, life can continue to move, to make its noise, to spin its stories. In here, the story slow, the noise dims, and only the simplest sensations remain. The weight of your body is one of those sensations, heavy in the best way, like a book that has finally been set down on a table after being carried all day. The table does not mind the weight. The bed beneath you does not mind either. It was made for this. The ceiling, the walls, the floor, the bed, the pillow, the blanket, all of them work together quietly to create this one clear message. Here you can rest. Here your body can be just a body, breathing, warming the sheets, pressing into the mattress, and slowly, steadily, drifting towards sleep in this room, made just for you. The air around you carries a slight coolness now, as if evening has quietly stepped into a garden and settled among the leaves. Breath moves in, breath moves out, like a soft wind that knows every path between branches and stems. Inside your chest, the inhale is a gentle arrival. The exhale is a slow wandering away. Nothing rushed, nothing forced. Imagine your body as a quiet garden at twilight. The day has passed through, done what it needed to do. Now the light is fading and everything is beginning to rest. Your lungs are like two calm spaces among the plants. As you breathe in, the air drifts in like cool evening air, slipping between tall grasses, brushing past petals, touching the undersides of leaves. As you breathe out, it glides back out, carrying the warmth of the day with it, carrying what is no longer needed. Feel your ribs as the low stone walls around this garden. They widen a little with each breath in. They ease back with each breath out. Steady, protective, quietly holding the space where your breathing happens. The weight of your shoulders has its own gravity. Imagine them as branches that have been holding themselves up to the light all day. Now, in the fading glow, they can finally lower, just a bit. The muscles there, like leaves loosening their grip, folding closer to the stem. As you breathe in, notice the slight rise under your collarbones. As you breathe out, picture tiny leaves along those branches folding in, one by one. Each exhale a signal that the day's reaching is over. Now is the time for drawing inward. The air in this garden is cooling, not cold, just touched by evening. It brushes over your skin the way twilight air brushes over open soil, over the smooth curve of a stone, over the soft edges of a flower about to close. Sense your face, the small muscles around your eyes. They have been like little blossoms, open and alert, tracking every shift of light. Now, with your eyes closed, they can soften, like petals slowly folding, no longer needing to watch anything. Feel the space behind your closed eyes. a dim, quiet part of the garden where the last light lingers. Thoughts may move through like small insects or drifting seeds. You do not have to follow them. They can just pass by, landing where they will, while you stay with the slow, steady motion of your breath. Inhale, the garden draws in coolness. Exhale, the garden releases warmth back to the evening air. Your jaw can ease now. Imagine it as the gate at the edge of this garden. All day it may have been held a little tight, ready to open, ready to answer, ready to speak. Now the hinges soften. The gate rests half open, half closed. Nothing pushing on it, nothing pulling. As your tongue rests quietly, feel how the back of your throat widens with each breath, like a narrow path that feels a little broader as the crowd of the day has gone home. Only your breathing walks there now, unhurried, unobserved. Move your attention down into your neck and the base of your skull. These are the slender stems that have held the weight of your thoughts, your attention, your gaze. Picture them in the twilight garden, no longer straining upward. They stand, but they do not reach. They simply exist in the softening light. Each inhale is like the faint glow still held in the sky. Each exhale is like the deepening blue settling between the plants, in the spaces the sun has already left. Feel the weight of your arms. Where they rest, they are like long branches that have found a place to lie along the ground, no longer needing to stretch, or lift, or carry. The muscles of your upper arms, your forearms, the small muscles of your hands, can all be like leaves that have finished their turning toward the sun. Notice the curve of your fingers. Imagine each finger as a slender stem, and each fingertip as a closed bud. They do not need to open right now. They can simply rest, curved and quiet, on the soft earth of the bed or blanket beneath them. Breath moves in through your nose, cool, like evening air slipping through a narrow opening in the garden wall. Breath moves out, warmer, like air that has traveled through every corner of this quiet place, picking up the faint scents of soil and green and the last traces of sunlight. Your chest rises, then falls. With each rise, picture the whole garden lifting just a little, as if it is listening for the final birdsong of the day. With each fall, it settles more fully into itself, into its own shadows and shapes. Bring awareness to your back now. Where it touches the surface beneath you, imagine the ground of the garden, steady and patient. The muscles along your spine are like tall stems that have been holding themselves upright all day. Now they can lean into the earth, supported from below. With every exhale, feel one more small knot in those muscles loosen. One more cluster of leaves folding closer to the stem, content with the light they have already received. Your belly moves with your breathing too, a soft, low part of the garden, where the soil is rich and dark. As you breathe in, that soil gently swells. As you breathe out, it settles, tiny grains rearranging themselves without effort, finding a more comfortable resting place. You might sense little shifts inside, the quiet movement of organs, the faint stretch of tissue, the subtle pulse of your own heartbeat, all of it like unseen roots, slowly drawing what they need, slowly releasing what they do not, deep beneath the surface. Travel with your awareness down into your hips. These are the broad stones of the garden, heavy and reliable. They anchor everything above. Notice how they press into the bed, how the fabric gives just enough to meet them, holding that weight without complaint. From your hips, your legs extend like long paths through the garden. They have carried you through the bright hours. Now, in this twilight, they can simply lie still, the paths empty, the dust of footsteps settling. Feel your thighs, your knees, your calves. With each exhale, imagine a gentle coolness moving down over them, like evening air flowing along the ground, calming the warmth left from the day's walking and standing. Your ankles and feet are the far corners of this garden, quiet, a little forgotten, but deeply part of the whole. Notice the weight of your heels, how they sink into the surface beneath you. Like smooth stones partly pressed into soft soil, they do not need to go anywhere. They just rest exactly where they are, each toe a tiny resting bud at the edge of the path. No need to spread or grip. They can soften one by one into stillness. Now sense your whole body at once. This entire garden of muscles and bones and breath. Twilight has settled. The bright, direct light of the day is gone. What remains is a gentle, even dimness, where nothing is asked to perform. Breath is the only movement that continues, like the faintest breeze that moves through, not to stir anything up, but to keep the air fresh and kind. Inhale, and the garden knows you are here. Exhale, and the garden knows it can rest. Thoughts may still appear, like the last small rustles of a bird finding its place for the night, or a leaf shifting as it folds. They belong to this evening too. They can come and go, while the deeper stillness of your body remains. Here, in this quiet garden within you, the day is closing. The plants have finished their reaching. The paths are empty. The air has cooled. All that remains is this gentle rhythm. Breath in, like evening air entering between the leaves. Breath out, like warmth drifting upward into the darkening sky. And with each cycle, the garden of your body settles a little more into night. Each exhale settles a little more now. The breath moves in and out like a slow, quiet wind. Somewhere inside, behind your forehead, behind your closed eyes, a wide, open space begins to show itself. Not a room, not a box, more like a sky. You do not have to see it clearly, just a sense of it is enough. A gentle, spacious feeling, stretching in every direction, without edges. As you breathe in, this inner sky seems to widen a little. As you breathe out, it softens, as if the air inside it becomes calmer, smoother, more at ease. The weight of your head on the pillow is steady and grounded, yet the place where thoughts appear, the place behind the brow, is light and open, like high air. Imagine your mind as that sky, vast, quiet, always there, even when you forget it is. Thoughts move through it the way clouds move across a day. Some are thin and pale, like wisps you almost miss. Some are thicker, heavier, with edges you can trace. Some may feel like storm clouds, dark and full. Notice how, even when the clouds gather, the sky itself is untouched. It does not strain. It does not chase them. It does not push them away. Your breath moves in. Your ribs widen. Your chest rises like a gentle current of warm air. Your breath moves out. Your chest falls, and with it, the clouds of thought drift a fraction farther across that inner space. If a worry appears, you might picture it as a small specific cloud. It has a shape, maybe a color, maybe a certain thickness. You do not have to climb into it. You can simply notice it hanging there, suspended in your inner sky. Your forehead softens, as if a breeze has smoothed the air around it. The tiny muscles around your eyes loosen, like clouds thinning in the sun. Above them, behind them, the sky of your mind stays open, unbothered, still. With each slow inhale, imagine the sky growing a shade lighter, a touch wider. With each exhale, the clouds loosen their edges, as if the air passing through your nose and mouth is the same air that moves them along. The small muscles at your jaw release, your tongue rests heavier, the back of your neck settles into the pillow. Thoughts may still appear. They might dart in, like small birds crossing the distance. A quick flash of movement, a flicker of sound. See if you can watch them without reaching for them. A bird flies across the sky. The sky does not follow. Your breath is that steady background, like a soft, continuous wind, high and gentle, in and out. Notice the subtle pull of gravity on your shoulders, how they sink down while the mind space above them stretches up, wide and clear. Your shoulders are like the horizon line. Below, the solid weight of your body. Above, the open field of sky where everything that troubles you can pass through without needing to stay. If a thought feels loud, as if it wants to shout across the sky, imagine it higher up, farther away. You can see its shape, but the sound is faint, like a distant storm you know will move on. Every exhale is a breeze that nudges those clouds along, not forcing, just gently encouraging movement. Breathing in, the air is cool at the tip of your nose. Breathing out, the warmth spreads out like a soft haze in the atmosphere of your chest. The sky of your mind does not have to be empty. Skies rarely are. It only needs to be spacious enough that nothing gets stuck. Imagine one of your worries as a cloud that has been sitting in one place all day, heavy, dense. On your next slow inhale, feel your ribs expand. On the exhale, picture that cloud loosening at the edges, threads of it unraveling into the wider blue. Again the breath moves in. The belly rises a little. The chest lifts. And as the breath moves out, the cloud breaks apart a bit more, pieces of it drifting, thinning, becoming streaks instead of a block. You do not have to fix the sky. You only watch, breathing, present. The backs of your hands rest wherever they have landed. Feel the small contact points, skin against fabric, knuckles against mattress. Those are like tiny pieces of ground, stable and sure, while above them, the inner sky remains free to change as it will. Another thought might appear, like a long, thin cloud stretching from one side of your mind to the other. It may be about tomorrow. It may be about something long past. Let your next exhale be a long, smooth wind across that cloud, not tearing it apart, just reminding it that it can move. Notice how, when you do not chase a thought, it begins to drift on its own. It might fade at the edges. It might slide slowly out of the center of your attention, toward the far rim of your inner horizon. Your eyelids rest heavily now, like soft curtains drawn over a window that still opens onto a vast sky beyond. Behind them, the space continues, wide, quiet, unbroken. In that space, tiny specks may appear, like distant birds, barely more than dots. Old memories, half-formed plans, little flashes of worry. They are so far away that they cannot tug at your muscles. Your jaw stays loose. Your shoulders stay easy. Your hands stay heavy. Each breath out adds a thin, transparent layer of calm air between you and those distant shapes, like altitude and like height. Up here the air is slow. Thoughts move, but they move lazily, as if they have all the time in the world to cross from one side to the other. Feel the weight of your chest settling more deeply with each cycle of breath. The front of your body softens. The back of your body is held by the bed, and the mind, the sky, simply stays open. If a thought suddenly rushes in, like a quick gust, you might imagine it as a brief swirl of weather, a small spin of cloud and air. You do not step into the storm. You stay with the sky that holds it. The storm, no matter how intense, is always smaller than the sky around it. You might even sense the quiet thickness of the air between you and that swirl, like a cushion of atmosphere. Soft, supportive. Your breathing is steady now, like a rhythm the sky has always known. In, out, wind, rest. Above the worries, above the flickers, there is a layer of sky so high and clear, it almost feels like silence. If you like, you can rest your attention there. Not on the clouds, not on the birds, just on that clear, open height that has room for everything and is disturbed by nothing. Feel how your body responds when you rest there. The belly loosens, the chest feels broader, the muscles around your mouth soften, as if a small private smile has passed through and then faded. Thoughts will keep appearing. They are part of the weather of being human. But the sky of you is larger than any thought. With each breath you remember this. With each breath you sink a little deeper into the quiet space that holds all your thinking, without becoming tangled in it. The mattress holds your weight. The pillow cradles your head, and above all of that within you, the sky stretches on, calm and wide, ready to let every cloud pass in its own unhurried time. Each exhale settles a little more of the day. The muscles along your face have already begun to soften. The space behind your eyes has its own quiet dimness now. Breath moves in and breath moves out, like a slow page turning somewhere deep inside. As you rest here, imagine that behind your closed eyes there is a vast, calm library. Not a busy one, not a place of rushing or searching. This is the private archive of your day, a quiet hall lined with shelves that belong only to you. Your breath is the door. As you breathe in, the door eases open a little wider. As you breathe out, you step further into that still familiar space. The air in this library has the gentle coolness of a room that has been waiting in the dark. Not cold, just settled, steady. Your chest rises with the next inhale. As it falls, you find yourself standing at the threshold of long rows of shelves. Each shelf holds the pages of your day, thoughts, moments, conversations, all carefully bound into thin volumes, waiting to be placed where they belong. You do not have to read any of them now. Notice your shoulders as you breathe. On the inhale, they might lift the smallest amount. On the exhale, they lower, like books being set gently back onto a shelf. The muscles across your upper back spread out on the bed, as if they found their own long, supportive shelf to rest on. Nothing to carry, nothing to hold up. With your next breath in, imagine the faint scent of paper and cloth, the soft, dry smell of pages that have already been written, stories that do not need to be rewritten tonight. As you breathe out, feel your arms grow heavier. From shoulders to elbows to hands they settle, like volumes sliding into their places spine to spine, along a quiet row. Your hands are their own small archives. All the things they touch today, keys, handles, screens, faces. Each contact could be a page, but the hands themselves are done for now. Feel the weight in your palms, the curve of your fingers. As you exhale, imagine each finger closing the cover on a tiny book. 5 small covers resting shut. Your breath continues, steady and kind. In, out. A slow librarian walking the aisles of your inner shelves. With each inhale, that librarian notices another open book left on a table. With each exhale, they close it gently and slide it back into its place. Bring your attention to your neck and throat. So many words pass through there today, spoken out loud, spoken only in your mind. As you breathe in, feel the front of your throat lengthen a little. As you breathe out, imagine a thick, familiar volume of conversations being closed. The cover meets the pages with a soft thud. A cloth ribbon is laid across, marking the place. You do not need to continue that chapter now. Your jaw loosens, as though someone has removed a heavy book that was propping it open. The teeth no longer need to grip. The tongue can rest against the floor of the mouth. The lips are just barely together, like 2 covers leaning against each other on a shelf. Breath in, breath out. In this library there is a long central table. On it scattered volumes lie open. These are today's worries. You can see them without stepping closer. A book of unfinished tasks. A book of what-ifs. A book of tiny, looping thoughts that never quite resolve. Feel the weight of your chest against the mattress as you breathe. On the inhale, the front of your body expands slightly, like a book being opened. On the exhale, it gently folds back toward the spine, closing halfway. With that slow closing, imagine the librarian's hand resting on the open pages of one worry. Not pushing, just waiting for the breath. Inhale, the hand stays. Exhale, the cover swings shut, all by itself. Your ribs move with this rhythm, each one a slender shelf, rising and falling. Between those shelves the lungs fill and empty, a quiet system of borrowing and returning air. Now bring your attention lower, to your abdomen. The soft rise with each inhale, the yielding fall with each exhale. Here, in the center of you, is the archive of feelings, not the stories about them, just the raw sensations that pass through your body today. Tightness, flutters, heat, coolness. Imagine them as loose pages that have been left in a stack, not yet sorted, not yet named. Your breath is the archivist now. On the inhale, the pages are gathered into a neat pile. On the exhale, a cover is placed over them. A simple blank cover. No title needed tonight. Your hips sink more deeply into the bed, like heavy reference volumes settling into the lowest shelf, where they can rest without being disturbed. The muscles across your pelvis soften, no longer bracing, no longer trying to stay upright. Feel the length of your legs, from hips to knees to ankles, each segment like a long shelf that has been cleared for the night. Everything you walked through today, every place your feet carried you, has already been written down somewhere in this library. You don't need to replay the steps. As you inhale, notice the faint stretch along the front of your thighs. As you exhale, imagine a whole row of places I went today sliding back into their slot. The slight sound of paper against paper, the quiet click as the last one meets the bookend. Your knees grow heavy, draped in stillness. Your calves relax, like slim books leaning into one another for support. Now bring your attention all the way down to your feet, the heels pressing into the mattress, the fabric giving just enough to hold that pressure, the arches softening, the toes releasing their small habitual curls. Your feet are like the library's doors, bolted for the night. On your next exhale, imagine those doors being swung closed with care, not slammed, just guided until wood meets wood. A gentle final sound that says, "For today, we are finished." Breath continues to move, even with the doors closed. In, out, like a librarian moving behind the scenes, in rooms the public never sees. The shelves of your spine lie along the mattress, one vertebra after another, stacked like slim volumes. Notice how the bed supports every segment, as if each tiny bone has its own reserved space. As you breathe in, the space between those bones widens a fraction. As you breathe out, they settle back, perfectly aligned in their row. Somewhere in this inner library there is a high shelf labeled "Things I Can't Solve Tonight." Imagine that shelf now, sturdy, out of reach of your usual waking hands. With each inhale, one of those unsolved questions floats up toward that shelf. With each exhale, it arrives there and lands, turning from a restless thought into a bound volume. You might see the spines lined up, tomorrow's decisions, other people's reactions, unknown outcomes. They are all there, stored carefully. They do not disappear. They simply wait in their place, where they cannot tug at you from the bedside. Your forehead smooths, as if someone has gently closed the last open ledger of the day. The tiny muscles around your eyes loosen, no longer scanning, no longer reading. Behind your closed eyes, the library lights dim, not all at once, row by row. On an inhale, the farthest aisle softens into shadow. On an exhale, the next row follows, the outlines of books becoming a single, quiet shape. Your breathing has its own slow catalogue now, each in-breath recorded, each out-breath filed away. There is nothing you must remember in this moment, nothing you must hold on to. The shelves will keep the stories, the pages will keep the details. All that's left for you is this simple rhythm, air moving in, air moving out. As the final lamps in your inner library glow low, imagine the librarian taking one last unhurried walk down the central aisle. They pause at the table where your worries once lay open. Now only closed covers rest there, stacks neatly aligned, edges even. With your next exhale, they slide the last book into its place. A soft, satisfying sound as it meets the others. Then with a slow, familiar motion, they turn the key in the archive door. Your body feels that turning as a deep, lengthened breath out, a release from the day's catalogue. A quiet agreement that for now, Everything is shelved. You rest here, in the darkened library of yourself, surrounded by rows and rows of closed covers. Held by the gentle order of things put away, breath continues, unhurried, in, out. The stories can sleep on their shelves, and you can begin to drift in the soft, wordless space between one page and the next. Each exhale settles a little more of you. The day loosens its grip, the way dust loosens from boots after a long walk. Muscles that have been holding you upright begin to soften, as if they are quietly setting you down at the edge of a quiet country lane. In your mind, feel the ground beneath your feet change. You are standing on a narrow path, washed in moonlight. It stretches ahead of you, simple and inviting. On one side, the shadowed line of a forest. On the other, open fields, pale and still under the night sky. The air around you carries a slight coolness, like the inside of a room that has been aired out and then closed again. With each inhale, that coolness brushes the inside of your nose, your throat, the top of your chest. With each exhale, warmth moves out, like a slow breath on glass. You begin to walk. There is no rush here. Each step is unhurried. The path is firm but gentle under your feet, packed earth and small stones. In your body, this might feel like the weight of your heels against the bed, the way they press down, steady and sure. The mattress gives just enough, like soil that remembers every footprint and never complains. Notice the rhythm of your steps matching the rhythm of your breathing. Inhale, a small, quiet lifting. Exhale, a soft, downward settling. As you walk this moonlit path, your attention can move down into your legs. Imagine your calves as they carry you forward. In the real heaviness of your body, sense how your lower legs are resting. The muscles along the back of the calf can unwind, like laces slowly being loosened after a long day. With your next breath in, feel the air fill your chest. With your next breath out, feel your calves sink deeper into stillness, as if they are stepping into softer ground. You take another step. The forest at the edge of the path is dark, but not threatening. Just a deep, quiet presence. The leaves are still, holding the memory of daytime wind. Every now and then, you might imagine the faintest rustle, like a thought that almost rises and then decides to stay asleep. Your thighs support you with each slow stride. In your body now, sense the weight of your thighs where they rest. The broad, strong muscles that have carried you through so many days can soften, as if, on this path, the earth itself is taking more of your weight, happy to do so. Inhale and feel the front of your thighs expand slightly with the breath. Exhale and feel them melt downward, heavy and quiet, like stepping from gravel onto a patch of soft grass. Ahead, the moonlight pools on the path in pale patches, as if someone has laid down small rugs of light for you to walk across. Each time you breathe in, you step into one of those patches. Each time you breathe out, you step into a patch of shadow that feels even more restful. Your hips move with the walk, a slow, natural sway. Bring your awareness there now, to the bowl of your pelvis, the deep center of your body. Notice any tightness, any clenching, the way you might hold yourself without meaning to. Imagine the path widening just a little here, giving you more space. The muscles around your hips respond, easing, as if they too have been given a bit more room. Breath comes in, and the lower belly softens. Breath goes out, and the hips sink, like settling onto a familiar, worn wooden bench at the side of the lane. You pause for a moment on that bench in your mind. Feel your sitting bones connect with the imagined wood, and at the same time, feel the real support beneath you now, the way your weight spreads out, the way the surface holds you without asking anything in return. The forest edge is close enough that you can sense its coolness. The fields are open enough that the moonlight has a clear path to you. Your breath moves between these two quiet worlds. Inhale from the cool shadow trees. Exhale into the open silvered fields. As you sit, your spine can lengthen just a little in your awareness, not from effort, but from release. Picture the path behind you, already walked. The path ahead, waiting. Your back is the line between them, steady and present. With every breath out, imagine small pebbles of tension dropping from your shoulders onto the path. They land without sound and are quickly forgotten, becoming part of the earth again. The muscles along your back loosen, vertebra by vertebra, like buttons being undone one at a time. Between each bone there is a tiny space, a quiet clearing. Your breath moves into those clearings, then flows out, easy and slow. When you are ready, you rise again in your imagination and begin to walk. Now your attention drifts down into your feet. Even if your actual feet are still tucked under blankets, you can feel them. The curve of the arches, the pads beneath the toes, the steady weight in the heels. On the path, each step is soft but sure. The earth has a faint give to it, like a well-worn track that knows the shape of many journeys. With each exhale, your feet sink a little deeper into that familiarity. Your toes spread, your arches relax, your ankles no longer brace. Breath in, and the feet feel light, almost lifted by the cool night air. Breath out, and they feel solid, grounded, as if the path rises slightly to meet them. Beside you, along the forest edge, there are small plants, low and quiet. You cannot see them clearly, but you can sense their presence, the way they brush the edges of the path. In your body, this is like the soft touch of fabric against your skin, the gentle outline of sheets along your legs, your sides, your arms. Your arms hang easily now, or rest where they are. Notice the weight in your upper arms, the length of your forearms, the curve of your hands. Imagine them swinging slowly at your sides as you walk, fingers loose, palms open to the night. Each inhale moves into your hands, as if you are gathering cool moonlight into your palms. Each exhale moves out through your fingertips, as if the warmth of the day is quietly flowing back into the path. Up ahead, the country lane bends slightly. You follow the curve, feeling how your body subtly shifts to stay balanced. Your center of gravity glides from one side to the other, like a lantern being carried carefully along the road. In your chest, the breath follows that same gentle arc. Side to side, in and out. The forest edge draws a little closer for a moment, then falls away again. The fields open wider, then narrow, just as your ribs expand with each breath, then soften, expand, soften. Somewhere in the distance there might be the faintest sound, perhaps the quiet creak of an old gate in the night air. Perhaps only your own footsteps on the path. In your body, that sound is like the slow beat of your heart, familiar, steady, unhurried. As you continue walking, your attention can move up into your neck and jaw. Notice if you have been holding your head as if still looking for something, even here. On this path, there is nothing to scan for. The moonlight is gentle, the shadows are kind. Your head can feel heavier on the pillow now, like a stone that has found its resting place at the side of the lane. Your jaw loosens, as if you have stopped speaking to the day. The tongue rests low and wide. The muscles around your mouth release, like a gate left slightly open, no longer needed to hold anything back. Breath in and feel the coolness at the back of your throat. Breath out and feel warmth gather under your tongue, behind your lips, like a small, secret ember. Your face too is walking this path. The tiny muscles around your eyes soften, as though they are turning away from the brightness of the world and toward the quiet of the trees. The space between your eyebrows smooths, like a track that has been walked enough times to wear away its sharp edges. Ahead, the path begins to feel familiar, as if you have been here before in some way. The bend of it, the way the forest holds to one side, the way the fields keep their distance, respectful and calm. With every breath, you walk a little farther into this familiarity. Inhale, and the cool night air fills your chest, your ribs widening like the open lane. Exhale, and your whole body settles, step by step, into the softness beneath you, like feet sinking into the remembered shape of the path. Nothing needs to be different. The path does not ask you to walk faster. The moon does not ask you to stay awake. The trees do not lean in with questions. You simply keep moving along this quiet, moonlit way, breath and step joined together, until even the idea of walking begins to slow, and your body knows it is time to drift from the path into deeper rest. The rhythm of your breathing settles into its own quiet pattern. Somewhere inside that rhythm, a new one begins to appear. A slow, steady rocking, as if the bed beneath you has become a gentle carriage on soft tracks. You are in your own small compartment, curtains drawn, lights low. The world outside moving, but you are still. The mattress holds you like a padded seat, wide and generous. The pillow shapes itself beneath your head, the way a worn cushion remembers every traveler who has leaned back and closed their eyes. There is a faint sense of motion now, not sharp, not jolting, just the idea of movement. A long, smooth glide, as though the room itself has begun to travel through the sleeping countryside. Your breath is the train's slow engine. Inhale, a gentle pull forward. Exhale, a soft roll along the tracks. The walls around you feel like the solid sides of the carriage, protecting, holding. Outside those walls, the night passes by, unhurried and unseen. You can almost sense the dark fields slipping past, wide stretches of land, resting, fences and trees and quiet houses drifting by your window, too dark and distant to make out clearly. They are only shapes now, hints, blurs, like your thoughts. They appear for a moment, then slide away again, left behind on the tracks. Your body begins to match the motion. With each breath, a tiny sway, forward, then back, side to side. Maybe you do not feel it as movement exactly, more like a soft loosening, edges blurring. The way a coat on a hook will gently swing when a train begins to move. Your arms rest where they are, your legs rest where they are, but the sense of where they end, where the air begins, becomes less clear, as if the whole carriage is one long padded cradle, and you are just part of what it carries. Outside, the countryside sleeps, a single light in a distant farmhouse window, then none at all, a cluster of trees leaning together in the dark, then open space again. You pass a tiny station. You can almost hear the soft hum of its empty platform. A bench, a closed kiosk, a clock that no one is looking at. The train does not stop. It glides through so gently that the platform is only a passing thought. Here, then gone. Just like a worry that rises, shows its shape for a second, and then slips back into the dark as the carriage moves on. You do not have to follow any of it, not the fields, not the stations, not the thoughts. They appear at the edge of your awareness, then fall behind, one by one, as the night journey continues. Inside your compartment, the air is soft and still. You can imagine the faint vibration of the tracks under everything, a low, steady hum, like a cat purring somewhere far away. It runs under your back, under your hips, under your heels, a single continuous line of support. Your body rests on that line. Your mind rests on it too. The small sounds of the train are soothing in their sameness. The quiet click and slide of wheels over rails. The occasional gentle shift as the carriage leans into a curve. A muffled rattle as you pass over a bridge. Then back to the soft, unbroken rolling. Any thought that tries to gather speed is met by this rhythm. It cannot quite catch. It cannot quite take hold. The rocking is stronger, more patient. Thoughts become like the dim shapes of telephone poles outside. Regular, predictable, here and gone before they fully form. Your sense of time loosens. Minutes stretch out like long, dark fields between small, forgotten towns. There might have been a station a while ago. There might be one ahead. It doesn't really matter. The journey itself is what you feel. The steady forward motion that asks nothing from you. The train knows the way. The tracks have already been laid. Every turn decided long before tonight. You are carried. You are simply here, in this quiet compartment, while the world outside drifts past in its own sleep. Your face softens, the tiny muscles around your eyes, your jaw, your tongue resting heavy and quiet in your mouth, as if you have leaned your head against the cool window, watching the darkness slide by, until your eyelids slowly closed on their own. Now even with your eyes closed you can sense the passing scenes. A row of trees, a bridge over a narrow road, a cluster of lights that might be a town, or just a handful of houses. You don't need to see any of it clearly. It's enough to know that it is there, and that you are moving gently through it. Sometimes the train seems to slow. The rocking grows even softer, as if you are gliding through a stretch of air so smooth, the wheels barely whisper. Then a little while later the rhythm returns to what it was. You are cradled in that small difference, held between slowing and moving on. Thoughts that once felt sharp now feel far away. They may still appear, like the distant glow of a station on a hill, but the tracks you are on do not turn toward them. You pass by. You continue. The concerns of the day wait on their platforms, watching you go. They do not climb aboard. Inside the carriage, the light is dim and warm. Your breath is the only clock that matters. In, out, in, out. With each exhale, your body seems to sink a little more into the cushions. The line between you and the seat beneath you grows hazy. Where your back ends and the padding begins is less important now. The whole surface feels like one continuous support, rising to meet you, matching your shape. Even your thoughts begin to sway with the motion. They do not stand rigid anymore. They soften at the edges. They bend like grasses at the side of the track brushed by the rush of the passing train. You are not trying to sleep. You are simply riding, rocked, carried. The night outside is long enough for everything, for every mile and for every breath. If a worry returns, you can imagine it waiting at a little platform by the tracks. It may wave as you approach. It may try to look important, standing under a small flickering lamp. But the carriage does not slow. You feel the gentle rush as you pass, and then it is behind you, shrinking into the dark, until you are not sure if it was ever there at all. The journey continues. The countryside keeps sleeping. The rails keep shining faintly beneath you, unseen but certain. Your body is here, in this moving room. Your mind is somewhere between the seat and the window and the night. Not quite one place, not quite another, just drifting, rocked by a rhythm older than worry, older than clocks. A rhythm that will keep moving through the dark, whether you watch it or not. You can rest inside that motion now, as the train hums on through the sleeping land. The weight of your body has already begun to soften. Edges blur, outlines fade. Above that soft weight, imagine a wide, dark sky unfolding, not somewhere far away, just above your closed eyes, as if the ceiling has quietly slipped aside and there is only space. This sky is deep and velvety, a dark that is gentle, not empty, a dark that holds. Each breath rises into it. Each exhale drifts out across it. Slow, unhurried, tiny points of light appear, not sharp or glaring, just faint, steady stars, as if someone has scattered a handful of quiet sparks, and they have come to rest. You are lying very still, yet something in you begins to feel unfastened from the bed, as though the mattress is no longer a surface, but a soft launch into the night above, not moving quickly, not going anywhere, simply no longer pinned down. The room around you grows distant. Walls become suggestions. The familiar shapes of furniture fade into the background. What remains is this open, endless dark, stretching in every direction. Notice how comforting that distance can be, how the usual nearness of things loosens, how far away the day already seems, as if it belongs to a different sky. In this night, there is no horizon, no clear line where one thing ends and another begins, just gradations of shadow, layers of quiet. Your body too begins to feel less defined. The border between skin and air grows uncertain, as if your arms, your legs, your chest are slowly dissolving into the space around them. Still there, just less separate. Above you, a slow movement, not wind, not sound, more like the subtle turning of the sky itself. Stars shifting almost imperceptibly, as if the whole night is breathing. With each exhale, you drift a little higher into that breath of darkness, not climbing, not trying, simply being carried. Thoughts, when they appear, show up as distant specks of light, small constellations forming and unforming on their own. You can see them far off in the vastness. They glitter for a moment, then slide quietly to the side. Some of those stars might be worries, little clusters of what-ifs and should-haves, but from here, they are tiny. They belong to a far-away sky. You do not have to reach for them. You do not have to solve anything in this wide, dark space. They can remain as they are, remote, unurgent. Feel how the darkness between the stars is not empty at all. It has weight, like a soft blanket spread across everything. It presses gently against you, the way night presses against a window pane. Firm, but kind. Your chest rises, falls. Somewhere, a star brightens just a fraction, then settles back. Your breathing and that slow cosmic rhythm begin to feel related, as if you are part of the same quiet turning. Time here is different. Minutes do not stack up. There is only this long stretched out moment, like a single deep night that has forgotten where it began. The sense of being on a planet, in a room, on a bed, thins. Instead, there is the simple feeling of being suspended in a vast, soft dark, cradled by distance, held by something enormous and unhurried. Imagine the curve of the earth far below you, not as a sharp picture, just a roundness, a great sleeping shape wrapped in its own layer of night. You are somewhere above that curve, floating in the quiet that surrounds it. Down there, lights twinkle in cities and houses, little clusters, like constellations turned upside down. All the busyness of lives, all the buzzing of thoughts, tucked under a thin skin of atmosphere. Up here, everything is slower, stretched, soft. If a worry tries to tug you back toward the ground, see it as a single light in that patchwork below, a tiny window glowing in a huge landscape. You can acknowledge it, the way you might glance at a faraway star, and then allow your gaze to drift back into the dark spaces between. Those dark spaces are generous. They make room for everything without needing to hold on. They do not argue with any light that appears. They simply surround it, and in surrounding it, quiet it. Your body is surrounded in the same way. The night sky cups itself around your shoulders, your hips, your feet. Even the small spaces between your fingers feel filled with this gentle darkness. No gaps, no sharp edges. Notice the feeling at the very surface of your skin. It may be hard to tell where your body ends and the dark begins, as if the night has come in close, matching your outline, then slowly blurring it. The weight of your head sinks, yet at the same time there is a sense of lightness behind your forehead, as though the sky has opened a little door there, and thoughts can drift out, rise up, and become new, distant stars, not lost, just placed farther away. You are allowed to be as quiet as this sky, as unhurried as the slow drift of constellations. No need to shine, no need to dim, just existing, held in a darkness that expects nothing. Somewhere, a shooting star crosses the vastness, a brief streak here and gone, like a memory passing through your mind. It does not stay long enough to be examined. It does not need to. Around you, the night grows even more spacious, as if every exhale pushes the edges of the universe a little farther out, making more room, more softness, more distance from everything that once felt close and pressing. Your hands may feel heavy, or they may feel as if they are not there at all. Either way is fine. In this sky, weight and weightlessness are just two ways of being held. The dark above is the same dark beneath. You are not lying on top of it, but within it, like a small, quiet planet nested inside a much larger, gentler night. Thoughts continue to appear and fade, like stars blinking in and out behind thin veils of cloud you cannot quite see. You do not need to chase them. They are part of the sky's own slow conversation with itself. Somewhere far off, dawn may be preparing its first faint line of light, but that is for another time. Here, in this deep middle of the night, everything is still turned toward rest. The sky holds you the way it holds its stars, without effort, without condition, simply by being vast enough. You float there, in that vastness, body softened, edges gone, mind dimming, like a constellation fading gently from view. The night is wide. You are small within it, yet not lost. Just one quiet point in an endless, tender dark. Each exhale carries you a little farther down, as if the breath itself were an elevator cable, easing, lowering, quiet and steady, not rushing, just a soft, sure descent. Some part of you stands in that small private elevator. The doors have already closed with a gentle hush. The world above is sealed away. Only the slow, downward glide remains. Around you, the air is still. Dimension. Comfortable, like the soft glow of a hallway light left on at night. Nothing harsh. Edges softened. With each breath out, you feel the floor under your feet drop the tiniest amount. Barely noticeable at first. Just a suggestion of movement. A subtle velvet drift downward. There are floors you once stopped at. Busy levels filled with thoughts, lists, and what-ifs. But tonight, the elevator passes them by. The numbers might flicker past somewhere above your head, but the car does not slow. You feel the gentle hum of descent, a faint, steady vibration under your body, like a cat purring from far away. Reliable, predictable. The walls around you are close enough to feel enclosing, but not tight. They simply hold the space. They keep the outside out. Inside there is only this slow sinking. With each level you pass, something loosens. The muscles across your forehead soften. The space around your eyes widens, like curtains parting. Your jaw hangs a little easier, as if the hinges had been oiled. The elevator sinks through layers of your day, layers of sound, layers of effort, layers of trying. Up on the higher floors, things may still be moving, phones lighting up, doors opening and closing, but you are already below that now. Here, the sounds are muffled, as if thick walls and soft carpeting absorb every echo before it can reach you. You might sense a memory of those noises, but they arrive faded, distant, like voices heard from the far end of a long hallway. Your body has its own quiet gravity. Your head grows heavier where it rests. Your shoulders sink a little deeper into what holds them. The weight of you is honest, uncomplicated. Imagine tiny grains of sand within you. All the stirred up thoughts, all the little tensions, each grain slowly settling. At first they swirl in a faint cloudy drift, thoughts circling, emotions rising and falling. But the longer you stay in this descending stillness, the more the grains begin to fall. They sink down through an inner hourglass, a soft rain of sand inside your chest, inside your belly, inside your limbs. Every exhale is a gentle tap on the glass, encouraging the sand to slide, to find its resting place, to form a quiet, unmoving layer at the bottom. You do not have to push them down. You do not have to organize them. They know how to settle on their own. They have always known. The elevator continues its unhurried drop, lower now and lower still, past the bright, busy floors where decisions are made. If a thought steps into the elevator with you for a moment, that is all right. It can ride 1 or 2 levels. Then, as the doors glide open on some passing floor, it simply steps out. The doors close again, and you continue downward, lighter. You may notice the sense of your body's edges beginning to blur. Where does your back end and the mattress begin? Where does your hand end and the air begin? The lines grow hazy, like shapes seen through frosted glass. The deeper you sink, the more your body feels like sand itself, not a solid, rigid block, but countless tiny particles resting together, soft, yielding, quiet. Your legs lengthen into that feeling, heavy but also loose, like columns of sand that have finally stopped shifting. They simply rest, your arms too, no longer needing to hold any pose. They spread their weight into the surface beneath them, a slow, spreading pool of heaviness. Somewhere far above, time is still counting. Clocks are still ticking, but down here, in this descending car, time feels like another floor you have already passed. The numbers on the panel blur and fade. You are moving through layers of yourself, through the top layer that worries, through the layer that plans, through the layer that remembers every small thing, lower, to the layer that only breathes, only rests, only exists. The air grows quieter as you go. Even your thoughts begin to sound like they are spoken from another floor. You can hear them if you try, but there is no need to step out and follow. You stay in the elevator drifting down. Imagine a final level far below, where the sand has all settled, nothing swirling, nothing suspended, just a smooth, undisturbed surface. Each breath brings you closer to that floor. The tiny hum of descent slows. The sense of movement becomes more like a suggestion than a fact, almost as if you are no longer moving at all, but the building is rising away from you instead. You are allowed to sink beneath the noise of your own mind, to slide under the surface of the day, to rest in the quiet basement of yourself, where light is soft and everything is still. If a worry tries to tug the elevator back up, feel how heavy the settled sand has become. It does not wish to rise. It does not scatter so easily now. It prefers the calm of the bottom. Your breath is slow, like the final inches of descent. Barely there, almost floating. The car glides to a gentle stop. No bell rings, no announcement. Just the subtle sense that you have arrived at a floor with no name. A level meant only for resting. The doors may stay closed if that feels right, or they may slide open onto darkness that feels soft, not empty. Either way, nothing presses in. Nothing asks anything of you. Your body is the sand that has settled. Your thoughts are the few last grains drifting down. Your awareness is the quiet room at the bottom, holding it all without effort, unmoving, untroubled. Here, in this depth, even the idea of going back up can wait. The elevator can remain here as long as it needs to, held in stillness, sunk beneath the day. And as you rest in this quiet, low place, everything in you knows how to be very, very still. The weight of your body has already begun to soften, as if something beneath you has loosened its grip, as if the edges of you are not so sharp anymore. Somewhere just above the quiet of your room, there is a gentle space in the air that has learned how to hold things, a simple cradle of sky, not made of wood or fabric, made of stillness, made of softness. You are resting there now, as though the mattress has risen, lifted by invisible hands until it hangs in the open air. Nothing pushes, nothing pulls. The world below is there, but far enough away that it blurs. The air around you has its own kind of warmth. Not hot, not cold, just the temperature of quiet. Under your back, under your legs, under the curve of your shoulders, the support is steady, like a hammock woven from slow breath. threads of inhale and exhale, crossing and holding, swaying the smallest amount. There is no rope to see, no hooks, no beams. Only the feeling of being gently suspended, without needing to understand how. Your body knows this feeling. The way your spine eases, when nothing hard presses against it. The way your muscles lose interest in holding you up. Above, the sky is close. Not a wide, endless sky, but a soft, domed one curving around you like a nest. The air has thickness to it, like the inside of a cloud. Quiet, pale, without any sharp corners. Every breath you take seems to widen that clouded space. Each exhale thins the borders of your body, until you are mostly warmth and weight and slow rhythm. There is no up or down here that matters. Only the sense of being held in the middle of everything, as if the world has cupped its hands, and you are resting in the hollow. Your thoughts drift by like small birds perching for a moment on the rim of this sky nest, and then lifting away again, without disturbing you. You do not have to follow them. They know where to go. They can circle and wander, while you remain here, unmoving. The hammock of air beneath you adjusts with every tiny shift. It understands the language of your weight, answers with softer and softer support. Around your ankles, around your wrists, the feeling of contact grows lighter, as if the sky has learned your outline and is memorizing it gently. Even your face is cradled. The small muscles around your eyes, your jaw, your mouth, all rocked in this unseen sling of quiet. Far below, the ground keeps its own worries, its own noise, its own clocks and lists and lights. Up here, time has thinned. Moments stretch like lazy strands of cloud, barely moving at all. Nothing is required, not even sleep. Just this hovering, this soft hanging in the middle of the air. If a thought rises, the sky around you widens a little, making more room until the thought has space to fade at the edges. If a feeling tightens, the hammock dips the smallest bit, rocking you once, then twice, and stills again. There is a quiet nest at your back. You can almost feel the faint, feathery texture of it. Not on your skin, but somewhere deeper, where the body knows when it is being cared for. You are allowed to be heavy here. You are just as welcome when you are light. The sky does not mind. It has room for every version of you. The outline of your shoulders loosens. The edges of your arms blur into the air. Even your hands forget their shape, resting as simple warmth in the woven stillness beneath them. Here, in this floating place, nothing has to be held together by effort. The nest of sky holds what you cannot. The hammock of breath holds what you are tired of carrying. Thought by thought and piece by piece, the day slips through the open spaces in the weave, falling away into the distance below. What remains is this: a body, a slow breath, a cradle of air that never gets tired. You hover at the edge of sleep like a cloud that has almost forgotten where its edges are. If you drift, the nest drifts with you. If you sink, it sinks the same small distance, always underneath, always exactly where you are. Nothing presses for your attention now. The sky has taken that work. You can simply float here without edges, without effort, in the quietest part of the night. And now there is just this body, this breath, this quiet. Nothing to fix, nothing to figure out. What needed your attention has been set down for the night. It can wait somewhere far from here. If a thought drifts close, it can drift away again, like a sound in another room, soft, unimportant. You are here, exactly as you are, resting. There is no pace you have to keep, no way you have to feel. If sleep is near, it can come closer. If it is still a little way off, that is all right too. You can simply lie here and breathing, each breath a little slower, a little deeper. Or not. Your body knows what to do. You can sink into the weight of where you are lying, held by it. The day is already far behind you now, like a door that has quietly closed. On this side of the door, nothing is required. Only this gentle, quiet time. If a worry tries to speak, it can fade into the background, like a voice down a long hallway, distant, blurry. You do not have to follow it. You can stay here instead, with the soft rise and fall of your chest, with the feeling of being carried by the surface beneath you. If you are awake, you are resting. If you are drifting, you are resting. Either way, this time belongs only to you. You can close your eyes a little more, or just let them be. Thoughts may come in small pieces now, half-formed, unfinished. They can dissolve before they turn into anything at all. There is nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to hold on to. Only this gentle dimness, this in-between. You might notice how quiet it feels around you now, how even the words are farther apart, like someone sitting nearby, not asking anything of you, just keeping you company. Breath moving in, breath moving out, so simple. If sleep has already taken you, it can draw you deeper. If you are still hovering at the edge, you can float there. There is no rush. The night is wide enough for all of it. Every part of you can soften in its own time. Even the parts that still hold on a little, they can loosen by a breath, then another, until even that feels like too much to think about. There is only the feeling of being here, quiet, heavy, at ease. You are allowed to drift away from these words whenever they blur. They can become softer than a whisper, more like a feeling than a sound. Soon they will be gone, and you will still be here, wrapped in your own quiet. Nothing more to manage, nothing more to do. Only this long, gentle exhale, and the soft, steady darkness, and the slow, easy way you are falling, deeper and deeper into rest.